Then we're going to be starting to the bottom right hand side of the map with our blue Zerg player. It is going to be Sleep. And he's going to be playing against the red pros to the top left side of the map from Invasion Esports. It's Harstem. Okay, so we set up into this, guys. And we've seen a probe already starting to move out onto the map after a pylon being placed down. So wants to go for a bit of an early scout here. Maybe try and block that natural hatchery from coming up. We've been seeing that a fair amount today in the last few days here in the SGL. As we're going to be seeing the probe continue to move down to the bottom right hand side. So probe moving down to the bottom right hand side, and we'll be popping in towards the main base here in the next couple of moments. So probe moving along, we're going to see there's drone coming down. Is he going to get a hatchery in time? I don't think so. I think the probe does get there, and we'll already be patrolling to block it. So probe just being a little bit of a nuisance right now, and Harstem's just going to keep on moving this around in circles to, again, block this for as long as possible. And see the drone actually going to be allowed to break the third base now, because Harstem knows at this point he's actually already forced the pool first. So if he can block it a bit longer, that's nice, but at the same time he probably wants to come and just check there isn't one at the third base already, and he sees it. So he does force the pool first out of his opponent, and that's obviously going to slow the initial build order of Sleep down to some extent. We see the gateway being added on by Harstem too, as he'll just go for a very standard expansion of his own. So Harstem obviously not being delayed at all. There's no drone on his side of the map to block him from expanding and so on. As we're just going to be seeing the probe just continue to move around. So probe just continue to move around in the main base now. We see this extractor coming up from Sleep. So we're seeing this extractor coming up from Sleep, and well, very standard stuff here. Hatch, pool, gas. Just obviously not in quite the right order as usual. Cybercore is again building up here in the wall. We're going to see nothing too exciting really. So again, very passive opening. I'm just going to be setting up into this for the next few minutes. Sleep is one of these players who I often kind of look at him and I'm like, well, he seems to be a very aggressive player. You know, he oftentimes is going to be playing more aggressive player styles than what you might usually expect from a Zerg. You know, so here on Frozen Temple, maybe we see a bit of an early Roach attack through the center or Roachling attack. Those sort of things are what I expect a player like Sleep to do. But maybe he comes in here today and cracks out something a little bit different. Maybe cracks out something a little bit more macro-y, I suppose, is one way we could phrase it. As we have those two Zerglings currently moving up towards the upper left-hand side of the map. It's got a little bit of damage being done. Actually, this Zergling being caught by the Adept, and Adept is going to be able to pick off both of those, so Adept just cleaning up some map control of the Zerg player. Twilight Council's coming down from Harstem, very standard way to play. We've seen this a lot recently, of course. We have seen a lot of different ways to play it out as well, with the Resonating Glaives, with the Dark Shrine playstyle. There's been a lot of different ways to do this, as we'll see the Pneumatized Carapace from Sleep is going to be starting. So Pneumatized Carapace from Sleep is starting on up. The Zergling speed is about halfway done. I'm just going to be seeing Sleep just coming in towards this natural expansion with this drone, and there's a third hatchery from Sleep as well, just coming in and starting to build on up. So very standard first 3 minutes of the game. A couple more gateways being added in from Harstem, and again the Resonating Glazer himself is on the way up here. Not Chrono Boosting it, actually Chrono Boosting his Warp Gate and his Adept at the front here. So it's getting out plenty of Adepts early, and he'll look to go for this probably kind of 9 Adept attack a little bit later on. If he has, what? I mean, if he's got 3, I guess he'll have 4 out and then 2 sets of Warpins. He might actually just go with 7 Adepts, which will be 1 set of Warpin and just attacking across the map. Dark Shrine coming down, so we are going to see the variant of this build order here from Harstem, where he's going to opt to go for not go for kind of the third base straight away, but instead apply a little bit more pressure with the DTs. And again, this has become so popular lately because when the DTs don't get damage done, they just become Archons. As long as you keep them alive, they just become Archons, and all of a sudden, boom, you can do some Warp Prism Archon harass, which is very powerful. So there's a few extra Adepts warping in. That will put us up to 7 in total if he moves across the map with all of those. And he is indeed going to be doing that, shading across here right away. So Adepts shading down through the center of the map towards the bottom right hand side. A few Zerglings coming in from Sleep. Going to be kind of running in towards this and seeing what they can get up to. And the Adepts actually getting some pretty nice trades here and continuing to clean up on those Zerglings. So Adepts going to be just fighting. And you'll be seeing Sleep backing away. Sleep backs away, and Adept's actually just going to come straight in towards the third base. Glaives is, of course, finished, and, well, you can actually see that there's no detection up currently against this Dark Shrine, so DTs at this point could be very effective, and this is something Harstem's going to recognize, and that's going to probably cause him to warp in a couple of DTs and start bringing them across the map. He won't be afraid to commit to those. You'll still see no Spore Crawlers, and a Spore Crawler is not something you suddenly start building right now when you've got kind of Adepts in your main base. It doesn't look as though a Seed Spores up. We have an Overlord here, but it hasn't seen the Dark Shrine. So Scout and Overlord is not going to find the information he needs, and Harstem is going to be laughing here in a couple of moments. No Spore Crawlers, no Lair, absolutely no detection. As these DTs run in towards the natural and the main, they're going to get quite a bit of damage done. So running on in here, you're going to be seen already. Actually, Drone's pulling away, recognizing that this is going to be damage he's going to be taking. He tries to build a Spore, and the main base DT comes straight onto that. Will be able to force the cancel. Harstem will actually have to defend against this counter attack, though. There's a lot of Ling Roach which has been made, and so here we go. Harstem. He has DTs though, right? I mean, DTs eventually just pick away at all of this. They're unkillable at this point. One DT in the natural expansion, DT in the main is going to force Lost Mining as well. There's a Spore coming up on the third base. Looks as though it might actually get up over here as well. Harstem, he'll take a lot of damage too, but he can afford to lose 30 workers and still be even in this game. So, I mean, DT's swiping away. It's slow but steady, and he will eventually work his way through all of this. Maybe even a couple more DTs will be warped in to help out. Across the map, DTs pick up the natural expansion, so this really is just all in from Sleep, and you can just see that DTs are going to do enough to defend. GG, Harstem takes game number 1 into fashion to some extent, because we see a lot of Zerg players opting to go for big counterattacks to try and shut down Adept-based players and to, to counter them. But if you have the DTs up, then those counterattacks immediately just start losing units for free, and there's nothing you can do against it, because there's no, there's no layer up, there's no detection, no mobile detection. We have to the top left-hand side our red Protoss player from Invasion Esports. It is Harstem. Looking to kick off his SGL with a bang. Looking at 2-0 Sleep in his first series of the day. To the bottom right, our blue Zerg player is going to be Sleep, of course, from Team Leifeng. And again, after this, we will have, just to kind of recap what the current order of match is going to be. After this, we'll have Harstem versus Maxed, and then we're going to assess the situation. After Harstem Maxed, we might actually do Maxed versus Sleep, and then see kind of how sort of's internet is doing. So that's sort of currently the plan. It's a little bit here and there, like we're not 100% certain what's actually going on, so it's a little bit tough. We might we'll just have to see how it goes, guys, and just sort of improvise as time passes by. Sleep is dropping down that hatchery in the natural. He's going to go for the gas pool now. So hatch, gas pool, nothing too crazy there. Double gate from Harstem. Going to be a lot of pressure from him in the early stages of this game. So Harstem's plan here, when you get the double gateway, is to send 2 Adepts out onto the map, is to get them to do some damage, and to slow down the the drone production as well by forcing Zergling production. Because without Zerglings, you're never going to clean up the Adepts, and so it's kind of a weird thing where you have to really kind of balance, making enough units to defend it, but also not taking any damage at all, because, you don't want to make too many units because then you have no drones, but also you don't want to take any damage, because if you take damage, you've made a few lings, then your drone count is also pretty crap. So it's a very hard attack to defend, actually, in the early stages of the game, and I also sort of almost feel as though it's very overpowered for a Protoss player, because I always sort of see these Adepts coming in, and it always feels as though they get 1 or 2 workers, and the amount of lings you have to build to fight against those Adepts is really quite crazy. So let's see how it goes, let's see how it turns out, and we can get a bit of an opinion as to maybe what we think about this build. Well, there's 2 Adepts on the way. It's actually become more popular again lately. We didn't see 2 Adept openings for a long time, but we're seeing it again now, because well, I mean, how do I want to say this, I guess? I guess we just haven't seen the double Adept for a long time, because I think it's like sort of figured it out and stuff like that, but then Protoss are like, well, you know what, there's still actually a very good build, and this build can be good to go up against it and so on. And it's interesting. Again, the shifts of the PvZ meta have been crazy over the past year or so. And as we're going to be seeing the probe just kind of patrolling around here to this bottom side. You're going to see a couple of lings going to be starting to chase that probe down. So probe going to be chased, so we're going to see the couple of Adepts. They'll move up to the high ground here, and obviously they'll start to shade in towards the main, while they'll already pick up 1 drone kill on the natural. Slow lings obviously don't help too much. They actually do shade into the main base, and man, the lings are out of position. This is going to be 6 or 7 workers killed here by Harstem, and as he starts to shade again, you can imagine these Adepts, they go back down in towards the natural expansion. The lings will be out of position again. Ooh, only 1 Adept survives, but there is. Oh, it's all the way over here, so it's actually in the natural. 7 workers killed, pretty much what we expected when we saw what was happening. And 7 workers immediately having to be rebuilt from Sleep, but it's a good start from Harstem, who now goes into well, his Resonant Glaive starting up off the Twilight. He's got 2 more gates, and sometimes I wonder when you do this sort of damage early, maybe it's just worth going for like a mass Adept 2 base all in or something. Anyways, we're going to be seeing these few Zerglings just pulling back down towards the bottom right side. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of gateways. They're going to be finishing soon. So as these gateways finish and this Overlord moves around, I'm just going to be seeing sort of Harstem in here in a situation where he's well, beginning to attack again, you know, and opening up his aggressive positions on the map and aggressive opportunities. Let's see, 2 more Adepts warp in and 2 more will go down as well, so that'll be what? 8 Adepts to move across the map, pretty standard number. How well prepared is Sleep going to be though? He doesn't have that many Lings just yet, he's still playing catch up on the work account. And his Bane and Nest is about to finish too, so you'll have some Banelings. You know what, I feel as though these Adepts might just kind of end the game. You look at this and, well, 10 more Zerglings now starting to build, that's 20 Lings. 25 Lings with 4 more on top of that, so 25 Lings. He's going to morph in a bunch of Banes. I mean, it sort of depends on the splits and the position, obviously. I mean, that's a very obvious thing to say, but here we go. Let's see what happens. Adept's going to start shading on forwards. I'm going to start to trade against that first queen there. And these Adepts are going to actually commit up this ramp, so they're going to go into the main. Oh, well, he has to start splitting away. The first Banes don't connect too well. As the Adepts split up, you can see they're going to win out against these Zerglings. More Lings being made. And the thing is, even if Harstem doesn't do worker damage here, look at the worker count already. 43 to 36. He is ahead already. You know, he's already ahead in workers. And so by doing this, he's just delaying the worker lead from kind of, you know, from Sleep, from kind of ever kind of getting back into the game, kind of the worker count. You're going to see some more Adepts actually make it into the mineral line, so they will finally get some worker kills in this attack too. That's 3, that's 4. And Sleep has just taken so much damage here. Can you get one more kill? He can. 5 workers. That's 31 to 45 drones now. Not pretty situation as we see the lair starting up, but Harstem's gone into double Stargates, so Phoenix on the way. And with 2 Phoenix at a time, he's going to have so much harassment potential. There'll be a lot more workers going down again. There'll be very efficient trades out of Harstem. He's even sending more Adepts across the map, because you know what? He may as well. Because he's just got that sort of position in the game where the continued pressure is going to really hurt for Sleep in terms of trying to catch up with worker count, from trying to be competitive in terms of economy here. And these Lings are going to come around the right-hand side. They'll look to maybe come in here once again sometime soon. Feelings just going to actually sit to the right-hand side for now. This few Adepts once again thinking about maybe moving out here. Mothership Core moving to defend the 3rd base. We see the Phoenix count will start to rise. And especially with the Phoenix out, I think these Adepts coming across the map have a lot of potential. You know, if the Phoenix lift up a Queen or 2, a Roach or 2, I mean, there's no Roaches on the map, but imagine there was. So more or less, I guess, imagine they lift up the Queens and put it kind of 1 Queen against 10 Adepts. Well, Adepts do win. Here we go, Adepts moving forwards, the Phoenix as well will join on up. There is a +1 flyer attack upgrade. Actually, some Lings sneak into the main base. And that's going to be a little bit of a nuisance here, so that's something the Mothership Core has to come in and deal with. As these Adepts are going to commit up, here we go. Phoenix is going to lift up the Queens. Again, for now, the Phoenix, they're just meant to take the Queens out of the fight. They're not necessarily meant to kill them. They just want to, you know, take them out of the fight so that for a while longer here, the Adepts have less damage going on to them. They have less targets they have to deal with. And it's working out very well. You can just see the Phoenix lifting up again. More Queens going down. In fact, now no Queens on the ground at all. The Zerglings alone are going to have to fight against the Adepts. It's just not happening. Resonant Glaives means they attack so fast. Lings keep on falling. I mean, a Queen trying to get away towards the natural mineral line. Maybe try and inject once more. And that's all he's going to do is... You've seen 2 more Lings going down, and Harstem just going to put on the pain. He's going to clean out another mineral line. More damage being done here by Harstem as he really looks as though he's been in command all game long. It looks as though he's just going to take this into victory now in game number 2 and take his first series win of the day. And as this Phoenix comes in, we'll join up with the rest of Phoenix once again. I'm just going to be seeing these few Zerglings moving around as well. So a few Zerglings still moving around. These Adepts going to come back in. They're going to kill off the Hydra. And a few Zerglings taking some damage once more. Actually, the Hydras will get picked up by the Phoenix now too. I mean, that's also a good way to trade. And Sleep just has nothing. He's got nothing across the map. He's got no run by or anything any longer. He's trying to make some more Hydras and Lings, but he knows it's over. GG's out. Harstem takes the 2-0.